Walking into a commercial freezer at 5 in the morning hits you like a physical wall. At minus 22 degrees, the air bites at your exposed skin, and every surface is encased in a thick layer of frost. Under Food Standards Australia-New Zealand, or FSANZ, facilities must hold potentially hazardous foods at 5 degrees or below, and frozen stock at a strict minus 15. But a compliant thermostat reading does not guarantee a safe storage environment. While extreme sub-zero temperatures stop bacteria from actively multiplying, they do not destroy them. The cold effectively preserves biological threats in a dormant state. This creates the thermostat fallacy, the dangerous assumption that a freezing environment is automatically a sterile one. Standard commercial kitchen techniques fail in these temperature zones because conventional cleaning chemicals lose their fundamental properties in the extreme cold. Neutralizing the hazards inside a deep freeze requires an approach built on 3 pillars: specialized low-temperature chemistry, rigorous thermodynamic protocols, and strict Australian safety standards. Success in this environment demands the mathematical neutralization of a hostile thermodynamic zone. The first point of failure in cold storage sanitation is the chemistry. Heavy-duty alkaline degreasers begin to turn sluggish and lose their surfactant activity as soon as the ambient temperature drops below 10 degrees. This chart illustrates the chemical breakdown. As the ambient temperature crosses the 0-degree mark, standard degreasers lose almost all effectiveness, rendering them completely inert in a commercial freezer. Even active chemicals face a physical barrier. Evaporator coils, floor drains, and racking joints constantly accumulate microscopic layers of frost that trap organic residues. In this cross-section, chemical spray pools uselessly on top of the solid white ice layer, blocked from the green organic contamination underneath. To penetrate that barrier, crews initiate a controlled thermal defrost. The ice layer thaws and recedes, allowing specialized chemistry to dissolve the residue. You cannot rush this process. Rapidly pushing the heat up triggers thermal shock, which causes the delicate aluminum fins on the evaporator coils to warp and crack. Once the ice is manageable, the team deploys engineered formulas designed to maintain full surfactant activity in ambient temperatures plunging to minus 25 degrees. Chemical efficacy inside a commercial freezer requires precise thermal manipulation to be successful. During cold storage audits, NSW Food Authority inspectors look past general surfaces to swab specific, localized microenvironments where the refrigeration system itself generates biological threats. The first hidden vector is the evaporator housing, where constant, condensation-driven moisture fuels the formation of dense bacterial biofilms. The second vector hides inside door seals. Heavy rubber gaskets trap moisture every time the door opens, creating dark, insulated cavities for rapid mold growth. The third vector is the floor drain. While grease flows freely in a warm kitchen, cold ambient temperatures instantly solidify those fats, completely obstructing the drain lines. Clearing out cold solidified fat requires an extreme, AS 1319 rated enzymatic flush. The chemical reaction targets and breaks the lipid bonds, so the semi-solid sludge can be broken apart and flushed down the steel drain. To dislodge stubborn organics, crews rely on aggressive mechanical scrubbing using AS 4674 food-safe nylon bristles, which are rated to withstand extreme cold without shattering. The final phase demands a precision rinse with potable water heated to 45 degrees, followed by the application of a quaternary ammonium sanitizer calibrated to 400 parts per million. Passing a regulatory audit requires targeting the specific microenvironments where the machinery interacts with the cold to trap moisture and debris. Blast freezers operate in an even more extreme reality, plunging ambient temperatures down to between minus 30 and minus 40 degrees. Working in this environment requires chemical concentrates to be preheated to 35 degrees inside insulated pressure sprayers before entering the freezer. This graphic illustrates the narrow operational window. Once spraying begins, the crew has exactly 12 minutes of effective contact time before the heated solution drops below its active threshold and freezes. This extreme time limit makes cleaning heavily soiled floors difficult, especially in wholesale seafood processing facilities, where biological matter freezes instantly to the concrete. Crews tackle these floors using a strict 2-pass approach. Frically scrape the frozen organic matter away by hand. Only after the bulk is removed do they execute a partial defrost for the chemical treatment pass. Blast freezer maintenance is a high-stakes race against time and temperature, where chemical activity must be managed with absolute precision. The evaporator coil is the single most neglected mechanical component in commercial cold storage. Over months of operation, airborne food particles, dust, and grease vapor coat the aluminum fins, essentially insulating the cooling coils from the surrounding air. A clean coil operates at peak heat transfer efficiency, while a grease-coated coil suffers a degraded capacity of 25%. This degradation translates directly into a financial drain, with facilities seeing significant reductions in quarterly energy bills by adding proper coil cleaning. Restoring that efficiency requires exact procedures. Technicians use specialized fin combs to straighten bent aluminum, followed by bursts of compressed air at 30 to 40 psi, blown in the reverse direction of normal airflow to force out debris. For the remaining grease, crews apply no-rinse chemicals. These compounds melt away heavy fats without introducing liquid moisture that could refreeze and block airflow between the fins. Comprehensive coil cleaning acts as a direct mechanism for recovering lost operational capital. Executing these deep cleans introduces two severe risks: breaking the cold chain for the client's inventory and endangering the human workers physically inside the unit. To protect the product, crews must temporarily relocate the frozen inventory into portable cold chain storage units, monitoring the temperature to ensure FSANZ safety limits are never breached. To protect the human element, supervisors manage the severe physiological risks of exposure below -10 degrees, which include rapid cold stress, localized frostbite, and hypothermia. This requires the mandatory enforcement of 20-minute rotations, with supervisors tracking intervals and using digital thermometers to verify the core body temperatures of the crew. The cold itself isn't the only threat. When warm cleaning solutions hit a frozen sub-zero surface, they flash freeze, instantly crystallizing into a sheer, invisible layer of black ice. Mitigating this instantaneous slip hazard requires laying down AS4586 compliant non-slip matting and mandating the highest weighted slip-resistant footwear tested under FSANZ 2210.3 standards. A deep clean is an operational failure if a single unit of inventory breaks the cold chain or a team member suffers a cold stress injury. A commercial freezer that looks clean to the naked eye is legally and operationally meaningless without mathematical validation. The final step of a rigorous cold storage protocol is strict documentation, achieved by taking ATP swabs across predetermined test points. These swabs measure microscopic biological residue. Under AS4187 standards, a surface only passes inspection if it registers below 100 relative light units. Specialized sub-zero cleaning protects food safety, establishes total regulatory compliance, and restores heavy refrigeration equipment to optimal energy efficiency. Strict thermodynamic management secures the safety of the workforce and guarantees absolute cold chain integrity from start to finish. Neutralizing sub-zero threats requires the application of precise thermodynamic control and specialized chemistry. Maintaining these facilities ensures the total protection of the cold chain, the safety of the workforce, and the longevity of the critical refrigeration assets.